Connecticut Community Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, going to bring some of their clients out to kind of test this app and figure out how it works. So kind of excited about that. Tony, who is a program supervisor here at Thrive, is directing that. We also, association with that, met with the AP marketing class at the high school. It's the town. Met with their students. They have put together kind of a marketing plan for this project. And we're following up with them on some of the initiatives proposed and seeing if we're going to be able to make also COP property. I submitted a recreation trails grant to continue work that's started actually 10 years ago. Out of the COP property, laying down more stone dust, try to make that yellow trail loop, which goes up past the dog park, across the bridge, and then loops around. Two parts that we proposed. Grant was where it stops right now prior to the dog park, getting all the way to the bridge, then doing another like 1,000-foot section past the bridge. We already got permitting for that. And so what we would be doing was taking up some of these material, putting down gravel, down the surface. And the whole goal is to try to make, eventually make that loop trail kind of goes out towards Groton Utilities and then comes back and ties in with the out by the stone foundation, and then it moves back to the parking. Our eventual goal is to have a higher path. So nice and smooth and wooded. So that's we have going on. Rail, really have anything. No, Crosstown Trail is not just parks, it's got open space. I thought we were supposed to be down there. Right in front of that. That's right. Yeah, you're right. That's taking it, increasing that the greenway doesn't. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna get, I see, signage and branding or something.
Right. Yep. I have done.
Because I got contacted.
But you got money for that.
I got money. I just don't have time.
Well, I don't know. I got contacted just for, we did a joint grant. I mean, the Tri-Town Greenway, your green, Crosstown Green. I got contacted yesterday for the addresses they want, all the information.
Who did you get that from?
The kid, yeah. Fitzgerald, yeah. Got an email from him yesterday.
Oh.
Already started. We want to make sure I got the right address to send the agreement to.
Oh, okay.
That's everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess
The process is started.
Process is started.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Open space.
Dan's our new president.
Right.
Me.
Yeah. So any updates on open space?
Have a new trail did last year. In terms of connectivity.
Yeah.
So our first meeting.
The Sheep Farm, when was the last meeting? Sheep Farm South is new and they've developed
The last
a
one.
new that.
December.
And our signs are coming out soon. We've got the maps. Noah Feldman's been helping us.
Oh, okay.
You know, I have just as a side note to help hires that Noah's information is already been uploaded. Trails are on, the shoes are on.
Oh, okay.
And I was out there the other day with another council member, and we were, not there, at Wolf. And we actually kind of could find an existing trail that makes a loop. And at least it's a start. You can get through with all those prickers and everything if you know where to go and where to turn. There's some of it's just open area where you're going across section. You just need hand clippers just so you can through.
Right.
But that's a start, and I think Betsy Chittenden from GOSA is working with the town. I think she's currently waiting for the town to decide which department's gonna handle planning for Wilbur. And, but we have a person from GOSA who has been working with Kevin McBride and is, thinking in terms of getting a forester to do a baseline for the thing. So she's thinking ahead, but she needs
Right.
somebody in the town to
Right.
work with.
Right.
Like to address Arcosa stands. You understand that the state hasn't finished their part of the process. You understand that the town has a decision. Where who's going to take ownership? And Arcosa's decision on this. When the town is willing to. I only say that because for many people in our town, are impatient. Expect to bother you, Mark.
And claiming to be from GOSA.
Yeah.
We deny.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very unhappy that happened, but you're sure. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That it will happen.
My message back to those that have inquired is we got ARPA money to do a bike and pedestrian master. Which I'm working on. And my thought was to include the Wolfbrook property as part of the public engagement process, just to figure out how people want to see that property. Because they know what that outcome is. That's going to impact the trail, what kind of trails, where the trails are. That process is going to take a while. Public engagement part of like this months. It's not just going to be one public experience. Out of the trails, being on the bike paths, engaging with folks that are using that and getting their that right now is
Okay, an important part of that. Identify the sensitive areas, archaeology,
yes,
vernal pools,
right, and
streams, that sort of thing.
yeah, Deb and I met already with Kevin. Or Kevin McBride,
Right.
putting together an MOU. He's very familiar with that area and talking to us. Next steps. Vernal pools, I don't get how well documented.
We've got some old information in the database. Certainly, once we figure out what Kevin McBride, where he wants us to stay away from,
Right.
I think we can use that as sort of baseline. Once you go.
Pretty much if it's undisturbed area, the trail won't make that much difference as far as like the migration of the amphibians. If it's kept as forest,
Right.
where the trails are, it may be different if you're proposing clearing it or something.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't, obviously haven't.
Gotten that far, right?
But I certainly feel it's very much girls, I mean, probably in that overgrown field.
Oh, yeah, we could do anything with that, I think.
Right?
It's not the southern area, so.
And the other thing is establishing a plan. Planning and public. So there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's the town approach and the pace that the town is taking probably does not align with.
It's not harming it to be left alone.
Right.
Yeah, there is one thing, we saw a tent when we're.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very,
It's not a-
okay. Oh, it's like it, yeah, when you can stand up and cook it, yeah, whatever you do, you can live in it.
Yeah, we are aware of that.
Okay.
Question relative to new parking lots. Are you all involved with trying to meet the ADA specifications for parking lots?
Yes, we have been working on that in various parks and are continuing. It's met with Public Works yesterday on making some renovations, parking at Sutton Park. Also, not just for parking, but providing access for person that's mobility impaired to be actually able to go over and sit, have a space to sit next to the bleachers. Right now, it's curb, and there's no hard surface. Some of our parks get over. Actually, both sets of bleachers. We're also putting some pavement, provide access to the basketball. So, done some things already, and we're going to be doing money in our budget, proposed budget for renovations to building and the parking lot, Calvin Burrows. That is not acceptable, right? We have, like I said, made changes in other places, big renovations to that facility, and changed various parking lots. Are working towards making playgrounds more accessible. We don't have to do all of them. I think threshold is around 30. And there's some that we just flat out can't. Others are working. The renovation, parking, Fairfield Park, a couple of years.
That's one of the things that Toby Glazer's been working on. I think things went out to bid on a couple of our properties for ADA parking. I don't know where those stand price wise or how many slots they had set aside.
I think that's all determined by the. Yeah. And the other one I just thought of is Smart Car Park. We're replacing that playground and going to be making some changes. Parking. Putting a paved path parking lot over to the playground and also all the way to the basketball courts. So in the post, get onto the basketball court, get themselves over. So those are all projects.
I think those are the entry. That's
Park court, there's actually no path at all. It's just. But in most of the places I just talked about, making a hard surface. Town trails, talked about the bike and pedestrian master plan. I'm putting together an RFP for that. Hopefully that will go out in the next, kind of be in that process. Town in 2019 applied for app grant, transportation alternative plan grant, payments 2022, so we didn't get funding. 2022, I got a call that there was going to be more federal that particular bucket, and because we had scored second, 2019, we're now at the top of the list. I went to the council on Tuesday night to request that they support us receiving that money. There's a commitment of 20% by the town. The entire project is $1.17 million. And it's the project to connect Depot Road all the way to Tom. So that's Depot Road out to Route 1, onto South Road, all the way out to Thomas Road. So the town's commitment total was $1,170,000. The grant was, federal portion was $936,000, and the town's portion $130,000. Council supported it. Vote again in a few weeks. They've asked us to do a little more public engagement, just to make sure that road and South Road, where changes, we're not widening the road in any place. We're establishing dedicated bike lanes, kind of on-road bike lanes, which are much safer than what we have now, which is absolutely. So hopefully, and then the next step, it has to go to the RTM for their approval, which will be in April. March, and hopefully, so that, that would be the goal of that project. Goes back to something that was established in 2004 in the last pedestrian master plan, and that was kind of an east-west bikeway, connect the city to the town from the industrial zone, the business section to the town. So EB and Pfizer, the goal was to try to get to that part of the city. Thomas Road has already has bike lanes on it. Where we can, there are some places where it's tricky underneath on South Road, underneath the railroad pass. That's so narrow that you can't really establish
A lot of potholes.
this. Yes, there's issues there. Challenges. There are challenges there, and this particular grant, I don't think it's going to be able to address that. I know there's higher level planning going on. I don't know, Deb,
And it's a public works initiative, either to put the likely to road under it or raise.
right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. I have no sense. Community connectivity remains one of the highest needs. Energy. Our 2020 recreational needs assessment. Community connectivity was probably the highest, might have been the highest score. The community identity. People want to be able to want connectivity in parks, different places. Right now, that's kind of.
Yeah, that is right on 100%. Like,
When does the bike pedestrian master?
Well, I still have to put together the.
Oh, there.
Yeah. I'm trying to finish it. Tree inventory.
I just,
Yeah. Tri-town.
here, Joel has tonight, Tri-Town Trail. From the Tri-Town Trail perspective, our northern section, down, Eversource, nice down, full replacements. Have anybody crossing their workspace. So it kind of fell down, so that's been September. Eversource, as of today, is pulling their stuff out. They put matting down for a mile and a half. We've been down up there on the southern half. We've been working with asked them for a pilot program where we would part of the stone house and go to cut less than a mile section across their property, and listen to all that. Included in their outside consultant work, and then yesterday they the water division made a presentation why they should not approve it. So the commission took that all advisement. And so right now we're kind of still at all stop here, and we don't know which way we're going to go. First,
So you're speaking of conservation.
no, I'm talking as a tri-town trail.
Right.
Tri-town trail, Groton utilities.
So right now, the pilot.
We've got a formal request into them, and they have taken no action. Reading vision. Internal staff presentation was presented yesterday. We identified a gross number of, in my opinion, gross number of issues, contamination that would happen if you opened it up to unfettered access. Well, we didn't ask for that for unfettered access, but they assumed that and said, you have unfettered access. These are all the bad things that are going to happen. And they gave examples where, oh, good example is your cop park. Oh, there's people are walking on these trails there and they're with their dogs, and they're letting their dogs go into the reservoir. So obviously, if you're going to go across our property, you're going to be right by the reservoir. Their dogs are going to go in there too. So we can't have that. I guess our concern right now is how you're letting it happen in Cop Park. What's the difference from the Tri-Town Trail perspective? And what are you doing to fix all your baseline problems? So we're taking under advisement right now. How do we want to go forward? Could we be demanding that the utilities fix their problems and we have a good baseline? Because obviously there's issues that they're identified. They showed pictures of boats being dumped into the reservoir, people walking onto the reservoirs on this type of stuff. This is what their water department people are showing to the commission. So I'm just saying. So they've got a lot of problems in mind so I don't know if we want to get involved in this before they go fix their own problems.
Unless they could fix it so it could apply
That's,
like fencing or something.
yeah, if they need to put more fencing up or whatever, but they basically said it's $1 million and $250,000 a year to allow us to cross this 1 mile pilot program. So we're kind of in this bushy state right now as far as on where we're moving. So and from the conservation, we really haven't been working on any programs right now other than to make an assessment relative to 2 areas. One is the definitions that are in the POCD staff there as far as our inputs to the upcoming POCD. CIP this year coming before the council fund the POC development. And so in our preparations for that, we look at the definitions for open space and going to the state definition, protected and preserved, rather than the current version of dedicated, managed facility. Right. And from that, we've now provided that information to the children community. Working with them as far as I'm from that, we've also made recommendations to Mark here for changes park and rec regulation, as well as to the zoning people as far as rezoning, such as and then the third area that we're looking at, in the current POCD, we talked about green belts and greenways. And now that we have established greenways, is taking a look at is green belts really what we want in the POCD? And should we be more going to a green corridor or habitat and wildlife and water corridors? Taking a look at, so we're doing this, we're going to be going next to that area. Want to shift out once more at the wildlife habitat, looking at the DB base, natural diversity database, to the areas that need better connectivity and protection, rather than worrying about green belts that are really for a much larger area. That's the conservation.
Sort of like priority.
But
Difference between green and green.
Greenway is identified by the state as an area where you have people and trails on it, or large areas of open space that people could be utilizing or wildlife could be. But it's designated by the state. We got two of them approved last year. One was the Crosstown Greenway, and the other was the Tri-Town. So those are established now. Yes, it was a goal to get those established. Got those established now. But the remaining portion of it, because there was in the POCD, have these green lines that were called green belts identified. These are the areas that recommended for evaluation. So we've gone through that evaluation process. Now that we've got the areas, clearly identified as greenway, right? Remaining areas we need to take a look at how do I want to better protect those and preserve those to be able to support natural diversity database, have better protection.
Belts become green.
Well, greenways, you have to designate, get them approved by it. Okay. Right. So you don't have to do that. No, that's something internal to
Green
the
belt
town.
could be just.
What you want to say in it is for a prioritization, conservation and development, planning and development areas. These are the areas that we want to focus in on, is to take a look at, maybe we want to purchase some property over here. Wolfbrook. It was actually in on one. Okay. So in this case, when the guy came to the planning and said, "Oh, you guys, it's in the field, it's of course in the field because we got it over here as an identified green belt area." We're taking a look at getting rather than we're evaluating this as far as version.
Would it be an upgrade if you change, say?
We don't know right now. We're like evaluating. I just look at what we're looking at. Okay, I'm not having any decisions here or anything. We're not trying. I'm just trying to market anything. Just saying this is the kind of stuff we're working on. Yeah,
I'll re-answer the question.
Yeah.
Just understanding that the green belt is just a local designation of a certain. The
But
greenway is like.
Greenbelt,
states.
if you take a look at the Greenbelt Alliance out of California, they basically use green belts to establish, I don't want development in the area, okay? And I want it over here, like you have these big thousands of acres, but here, when you apply it to a town that's already essentially built out, okay? It's really not the best way to be looking at it from a terminology perspective, my viewpoint. Okay? The commission hasn't really had a chance to agitate on all this stuff. This is what's on our coming up. On be aware.
Business. Have any new business FYE 20 CIP. This year we have put money in the CIP to this path from this facility out behind the library athletic field, back of the library, actually kind of loop around. So we'll create a loop, and then also be a spur that will go up behind the library and the sidewalk. Goal of that again is to enhance the walking programs that take place in. We have a number of programs. A lot of the seniors can't get over to White Plains Park. So for them to, to take the walking program that's taking place inside, be able to outside to an area that's easy to access, building. Just makes a lot of sense. That also provides an opportunity. Parents and siblings that are at their kids' game, just giving them a place to be able to walk around. All of these. Goal is, to have some benches there, so that, folks get tired, they can sit, or they can sit, watch the game, or just sit under the tree. Eventually, we would love to be able to go through connections. Burroughs, thank you. We would love to be able to make a connection through the Burroughs property. We have talked to him, Dr. Burroughs, about that. It's the final decision maker, family-owned property. Final decision. Yeah. So, and that would be great because get folks a lot closer. Community center and just create more of a campus area, which is
That connect to the North Road and like the Tri-Town.
yeah. So yes, the Tri-Town, right? Church.
And it also gets you a crossing over by a community center too, to get to the light.
Well, you would at least get, yes, yeah, get to the edge of the Burroughs property, which.
No, we need a sidewalk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's, this is kind of step one and further connected. Talking about White Plains Park, trail, a lot of people use it. After we've started widening that trail, that path, loop, made it 8 feet wide now. So better maintain it. And we're also going through the permitting process in order to be able to put solar powered LED architectural lights, which would allow extended use of trail. People use that all rain or snow or whatever, there's always up there, and we'll just tend to use them safer. to that, if they want. Later on in the evening. And that was another need that the community identified. No saving. So, lights on. Have the money already, we just go through the. Get it, I would expect that. That's really. Yes.
Stone Dust Path. Is that Stone Dust ADA? Is it an ADA?
I think it is, I mean, that's, it's pretty firm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. How wide would this path? Have you even got that?
Oh, no, we have the plans, and I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
something comfortable.
Right.
In the other direction.
Yeah, and I think we've already got, did we already get administrative site? I think we did years ago. So, Joanne, I'm sorry, I don't remember the width. Maybe.
I think Stone
80.
Dust is ADA.
Right, and fortunately, that entire area is pretty flat. Have a little bit of a pitch going from the parking lot down past the hockey rink, but other than that.
Great.
I have. Deputy, anything to share from planning?
Not in terms of trails, stuff.
Okay. All right.
So I just have one question. One of the things that the Conservation Commission has is these stewardship.
Right.
And one of them is this, that's before. When you come out of Grasso, north there, the town owns it. There's access at the end of Merrill Court to that parcel, then it butts up to south. If you had any interest in potential connecting that, it would require a bridge to go across Fort Hill Brook or get there from, but you'd have access from that community area. At the end of Merrill Court, bridge in on the town property and then on.
Where's Merrill Court?
South of Ring Drive.
I was just gonna say.
But it's undeveloped. It's like it would be a spur from the existing Merrill.
But it would require it on the town property for it to cross.
And maybe some.
Yeah, I don't know, but is there anything look at that? Was there ever any discussion? That's one of the things that's listed in our stewardship plans, investigation of that area.
Probably a pedestrian bridge, like the one you have behind the Mystic River School.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so.
You're not quite asleep.
That's-
Yeah, it's like- It's a village car.
I think it'd be similar to the coast line. Because they're rich.
No, it's not.
Do a look at that.
That was 0 Fort Hill.
Yeah, this open space that was associated with another subdivision that was another section of town.
Yeah.
That didn't have appropriate. The guy owned this. Or
Yeah, I don't know if it's under the parks, I think it's under our control right now. Parks and Rec hasn't taken any ownership of that one. But they just kind of toss this one out there. Got the right people. As far as for future paperwork. Town property or? It's town property.
And this goes in.
Right up there. Okay, so it goes and got this here, so Route 1's down here, and so we come. Where we were before the other day.
We were doing our battery wells, yeah.
Yes.
It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's something to look at. I just-
But this is
Yeah.
challenging.
I'm just we're trying to expand on what you.
Right, right.
Connectivity.
Start at this hub area.
Right, right.
Before I start far out here, yeah. Trying to look at what other alternatives. here
Right,
from-
right.
from a
And it
trail
gives it down at the crosswalk, which is always a problem crossing the street on Fort on either side. of Fort.
Right, right.
But Miles, if you're talking. You can use that to access sheep farm. No places, so down in Flanders.
Right.
Jump. Eric. Direction from there. Yep.
Yeah, you can
Right,
access
right.
the crosswalk trail. And also schools would connect to it. Free schools there.
From behind the school.
Yeah, connect to Haley Farm.
So
And access. Maybe just.
I think it'd be a line.
Yeah.
Addition.
That would be good. That would be a joint project.
Yeah, because
It's above our pay grade.
Have a bridge like behind Groton.
well, I don't know if it
Well,
has to be that.
That was.
Yeah, that's it.
We waited a long time.
I have not seen it.
Oh, you mean-
I'm like, I have not seen it.
It's
No,
not.
you know, it's an elementary school, I don't know, there's no reason. I need
It's
to
a
go
bridge
see
of all
it.
bridges.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
Very
Wow.
impressive.
Union labor, you know.
So it was engineered.
Oh, yeah,
Those are engineered. So it was just, you know, word thrown across.
This is Latin.
Flood of all floods.
Oh, really?
My wife and I traveled and the world. We hear very few birds, very little birds. See very little wildlife. Occasionally, very little. Wondering, is there one of the multiple? How did this? That's something you guys.
Well, we've had Dr. Askins, who's a retired professor at Conn College. He goes over to Avery. We had like walks up and down the dirt road. All kinds of habitats. Hedgerows, fields, forests, marshes. Wetlands. Basically, a lot of these properties are ledge, thin soils, and they aren't as diverse as others. Maybe in the wetlands is where the natural diversity database. We also have a tendency when we're leading groups, people make so much noise, but the wildlife don't show up, you know. Yeah, there's bobcat signs, there's affiliated woodpeckers all throughout. I mean, there's stuff there.
I was just wondering, and ignorant. Swaddling place.
Yeah. Pretty soon, the vernal pools, you'll hear, sounds like a flock of ducks in the wetlands. Wood frogs, sound like ducks quacking.
I just
You'll start hearing-
Husband. Might consider. Upgrading.
Yeah.
Put up bird boxes. Right, right.
That's Chittenden is working on ghost management. His talking about getting people from Eber to sign up, get into that. She may be the ghost contact. Ideas for wildlife. How to promote it.
It would certainly be interesting to have their perspective on perhaps things that we could do along that. Property purposes, create different diversity of I won't say forest types, but we've got areas that we mow, so that it doesn't become. And so we're trying to encourage diversity within the crop property. Mow that meadow generally once a year. But other things to do to encourage diversity. So,
Yeah, and we've had people who volunteer to put up bat houses, and bird houses. Something like a wood duck house. Yeah, the woodcuts would use those shrubby fields for fire.
Recently, Avalon had acquired some trail cams for a couple of different reasons, and they were testing them out on one of our properties and they have a nice picture. They have pictures of these. And then there was a, owl that came right up, perched right on the, right in front of the camera.
Right,
You can
all
see
the
the sky type, so I can see bright eyes. But, you know, it may be out there, just not when there's people, or it may be the wrong time of day, or.
Yeah,
and there is a lot of, well, I know at the crop property, a lot of dogs, so that could be discouraging. All right, I didn't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything? All right, could I get a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second. All right, all those in favor? All right,
Well, we might never get out of here if we couldn't agree.
so we'll see you June, the next meeting is June 15th.
I will be in the last.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, you can Zoom.
From your ship.
From my ship somewhere.
Cool.
I'm not coming June, but, I'm coming back like on the 7th of June, but I'll be there.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah.
One of the comments.
Yeah, no, I.
Somebody
that.
wants to be there.
Yeah, there's, even if there's our networking, so we don't
right.
come out with act.
Is it okay to mention the sound app?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, how does that work?
My understanding is that it's kind of acts like this. What is it, tells folks, if there's something in front of them, an obstruction that they perhaps can't see.
Do they wear, do they have like a?
No,
it's here?
they have their phone with them and it makes a pinging sound or it makes some kind of sound to let them know.
There's obstruction or.
Yeah.
Picking up trees or side.
Yes.
Can they use it they can
Yeah.
use it anywhere or just a place where there's like a grid set up?
Well, we're looking to set up kind of a designated trail.
You can turn it in.
We're looking to set up a designated trail in the car.
Then it's smooth underground.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so they're less like a trip.
Right, right.
That's kind of cool. This stuff.
We're going drinking tomorrow.
Where am I
You
going?
got your green on.
Oh, yeah.
I received nothing.